Question is that the motion be agreed to.
Mr. Speaker.
I call Adrian Rurapui.
Talofa lava malo Samoa malo le soifua. Mr. Speaker, it's a pleasure to speak on the Gambling Amendment Bill number 3 for the second reading. I want to acknowledge the 126 submitters that sent their submissions from organisations, problem gambling organisations, venues, societies and individuals. I want to thank them all because I think that they contributed greatly to the amendments that have been made to this bill, which I think has made this bill a lot better than it was at first reading. The Labour Party, we will be supporting this bill, but we do have some concerns, and I want to thank the Minister for addressing those very concerns that we had in his speech first up. The issue around commission payments. A number of organisations, problem gambling organisations, made submissions around their concerns for putting in place a commission-based payment system. Their concerns, as the Minister said, were around incentivising gambling so that venues would be better off the more money that went through those machines, and in so doing would put their host responsibilities at risk. And so we want to highlight that, and I've heard what the Minister has said, and maybe there's room for supplementary order paper to make sure that that happens, because I think that one of the models that could be used in developing a commission payment system could actually be to place a cap on the percentage or the total amount that any venue can gain from one particular machine. I think that could address that issue. So I guess the challenge for this House in taking up what the Minister has said, sir, is to make this bill even better than it is now. And if we were to put something in this bill as a supplementary order paper, and I'm sure I'm bound to want to do that, making certain that the commission-based system does not incentivise more gambling. So I have to point out that at the end of last year, that in the Department of Internal Affairs mystery shopper study, only one of the 102 venues was compliant. And so that doesn't give me a lot of encouragement around some of the venues actually being in a position at this time not to take the incentive of a commission-based system. That's why it's really important that we think, I believe, carefully around that and make sure that the commission-based payment system does not incentivise gambling. Sir, the other area I wanted to pay particular attention to was harm minimisation measures. And I think we have missed an opportunity here. I believe that at every single opportunity when we are talking about gambling and the Gambling Amendment Bill before us, we should have and could have taken stronger measures around minimising harm caused by gambling. And the Minister mentioned, also raised in the minority reports, implementing a pre-commitment system. Other countries have implemented these very systems, and I believe it's incumbent upon this Parliament to actually make sure that we have every opportunity to implement systems that do address harm caused by gambling. Two of the submitters, sir, I won't mention them by name, but they on two separate occasions, spoke to the Select Committee around their experiences of the harm that they have suffered through gambling. And that was very passionate, it was very powerful. What was very clear to me was that if a system that actually worked around pre-commitment could have prevented the experience that they had to go through. And so I want to thank those two particular submitters who told us in very raw detail around what effect that gambling had had on their lives. So there are some good things in this bill, and that's why our party is supporting it. And we've already heard from the Minister around the suitability of key persons and key persons issues that are addressed in this bill. I want to focus on the benefits with conditions attached, and just by the inclusion of one word altered the whole clause to the satisfaction of many submitters who submitted against these particular clauses, and that was the inclusion of the word improper. Just one word, and it changed the whole nature of those clauses. And so and feedback from those submitters indicates that the inclusion of that word addressed their issues, because their issues were around things like being able to pay their staff, because the clause had some unintended consequences, which meant that as key persons that they wouldn't be able to walk into another society's venues, pub, and order their dinner and a drink, and without breaking this law. And so that is a proper thing for them to be able to do. But the clause and the intention of the clause was to eliminate improper actions. And so that was something that collectively as a select committee we were able to address. There was a number of submissions around the definition of a relative, and that issue also was addressed to narrow it down to parents, son, daughter, spouse, partner, rather than the wider whānau. And some of us have got really big whānau, so we would all be unable to carry out normal transactions if we were a key person and the rest of our family. So also we had some information around the length of time that we extended, the limitations from 2 years to 5 years. So because there were indications that cases had been advised through the proper authorities, but they were out of time. And 2 years seemed to be too short. And so that has now been extended out to 5 years. Also, there are some specific clauses that the New Zealand Racing Board needed to be addressed, and those amendments address those issues to the extent that I understand that they are satisfied. I'm not sure if they're all happy, but they're certainly satisfied with the amendments that have been made. So, Sir, Finally, I just want to again thank the submitters and also acknowledge the members of the Government Administration Select Committee for the work that has been done, and also acknowledge the Minister again for acknowledging those key issues and concerns that we have with this bill. Nō reira, tēnā tātou.